Hey, good morning. It's Kimberly with Knit for Brains. I think it's, I don't know. It's morning for me. It's like almost 8 o'clock for me. I have no idea what time it is for you, even if you're in Australia. It's all different times. So I was just going to show you quickly the progress I'm making, and I'm coming to you from Rottenest Island, and I'm leaving my heart behind because these little dang quokkas are so adorable. Oh my gosh, and they're so friendly. They just come right up to you. I've got some really cute video I'll show you here. I just want to take them home, but just so you know, I have not fed them anything. You're not supposed to feed them. You're not supposed to touch them. You're not supposed to have any interaction with them. And I've been doing my part, but I can't help it if they come up and they touch me. But I haven't fed them. I did see one eating pizza. That was not my pizza. I didn't even order pizza. Not my fault. So just so you know, I am the good Quokka mom. You can see my shirt. Quokka mom. See? I am one of the responsible ones here. But they're so damn cute. Oh my goodness. Anyways, having my nice cup of coffee. We're staying at the Discovery Resort. Glamping. I've never done glamping before, and if this is what glamping is like, so I'm sold. I have a feeling this is pretty sweet. It has like its own plumbed shower and water. Amazing accommodations. So if you are in Australia or you're planning on coming, we're just about 25 minutes off the coast of Perth. This a wonderful little island. We rented some e-bikes and we're running around on the e-bikes, which is a great way to see the island because the island itself is quite large. I think it's 11 kilometers, maybe longer, top to bottom. And then I think it was like 4 kilometers from the widest. So we did a bike ride yesterday, and it was about 10 kilometers in a circle. And we're doing another one today. So we're getting an exercise in, having my little cup of coffee. And I thought I would quickly show you how far I've gotten. So this is my last ball, and I like it. Okay, little truth. When the ball starts to get really squish like that, and it's not so, like hard, then you're getting to the end, and that's kind of exciting. Yeah, so it's getting kind of squished. See that? Yeah. So this is 3 of 3, and this is the Van Gogh Starry Night. Okay, I am so in love how this is coming out. I am so in love. I am now, I think, addicted to assigned pooling yarn because it's kind of this really fun adventure as you go along. I mean, it's a really simple pattern that I created. But you just follow along, and when it turns yellow, you just do a funny stitch. So this is how it's turning out. And again, I'm just making it to a straight point. I'm not doing anything special. And then I'm adding on, I increase on each end. So it's just a basic single crochet that I'm doing. And then when I come up on the color, I just do a bobble stitch. And the bobble stitches are about 15 of the little yarn overs. And so actually, I'm up on a bobble stitch right now, so I'll even show you how this works. So right about when the yarn starts changing color, I can probably get one more in here. Single crochet, and then now see how it's starting to change color here? So I just yarn over, go into that stitch, pull through, yarn over. There's 3. And there is 5 on the, because you can do 2 each time. So just keep on going until the yarn starts to change color again. And the other thing that I kind of look out for is how close I am to another bobble. I don't want it to be super close. I don't want them to be totally in a cluster. And the larger this shawl gets, the less of a cluster it becomes. You know what I mean? So see, right about here is where I stop it. I could probably get one more in there. Now I'm going to stop it. So there's my last one. So that's a pretty big bobble. And I'm just going to yarn over and pull it all the way through. Let's see if I can do this, because sometimes they get stuck inside there. You just got to kind of wiggle, 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 wiggle. And sometimes you got to redo it, but I think I can pull it through. Sometimes they just don't pull through super easy. And so a good way to avoid that is to make sure that your yarn overs are pretty loose on your hook, so you have plenty of room. I really kind of screwed that one up, but that's okay. So that's basically the bobble right there. You yarn over, pull all the way through. You do 1 stitch to close it up, and then you go back in to the stitch right next to it, and then you start doing your single crochets again, and you just keep doing that until you get to the next group of yellow. And as I said before, originally I was going to have all the bobbles on the one side, but that is not the way this is turning out, and I'm very happy. So I am letting this go organically, where some bobbles show up on one side and some bobbles show up on the other side. I'm just really letting the yarn speak. And I think that's a good way to do it, because I loved the yarn so much that I really wanted this particular pattern that I created to feature the yarn. It's more about the yarn for me than it is the actual garment. I mean, I'm making a shawl, but it's really featuring the yarn. So here I come to the end. I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the end. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work. So as you can see, there's going to be about equal amounts of bubbles on each side. So like I said, this is originally, for those of you that haven't been watching the progression of this, it was originally supposed to be a knit pattern with a star stitch when you come to the yellow, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the holes in it. This is turning out to be very dense, which is what I wanted. And it's heavy too. It's a sock weight yarn, but with the 3 of them, and I'm making it, like I said, really dense with the single crochet. It's actually turning out to be a very heavy garment, and warm too, which is fine, which is really great. So let's see if I can come up to another yellow, and I'll show you here. So yeah, today we are in Rottnest. We're checking out, but we don't take a ferry. The ferries only run in the mornings. There's like 3 ferries in the morning and then 3 in the afternoon. So we're taking it the last ferry of the day. And we're taking it not to Fremantle, which is where we picked it up in the beginning. We're taking it all the way into Perth CBD, which I was a little confused, because where I come from, CBD has a whole other meaning. CBD here means Central Business District. And so we're taking it all the way up there, and we're going to probably just maybe find a place for some dinner, because we have a flight that leaves tonight at 11:40. So late night, we're doing a red eye into Cairns, they say, and we're going to spend 5 nights in Port Douglas, Great Barrier Reef, Daintree Rainforest. Okay, so here's another yellow. So let's try it again. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the next stitch and pull it through. So there's 3, there's 4, and then there's 5, 6, and then there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, there might be a little bit more than 15. Let's count it out. And they don't have to be. They can be as big as you want them to be. The only reason I'm making them this big, obviously, is to use up the yellow. So a bobble can be a very specific, like maybe 5 stitches. But like I said, you want to kind of make it loose. So you don't want to make it too tight on the needle, or on the hook rather, so that as you finish off the bobble, you don't have the problem I had earlier where your stitches get stuck. So let's see if I did this one right. So I pulled it all the way through. Now my yarn color is changing here. So I'm going to yarn over and pull it through. And yes, Houston, we have liftoff. You see how easy that was? I pulled all the way through. So there's all my stitches. And I'm going to go ahead and grab, yarn over, pull through. Now I've closed it off. You always want to make sure you close it off. And then I go into the next stitch, and then I just do my little double crochet right there. All right, so that is it. So I invite you, challenge you to try this stitch. It just has a really impactful look when it's all done, wouldn't you say? And it's so funny, because as I've been doing this, people walk up going, oh my God, that looks like that painting Starry Night. I'm like, I love that idea. So I think I'm going to go back to the yarn designer and show her what I've done, because everything that she does on her site is knit. And we need to let them know that no, crochet is definitely a thing, and I love this. And one of my favorite dyers, which is Arcane Fibers, they just started doing assigned pooling. So thank you for getting on the assigned pooling bus. I think I might be making a stop in your neighborhood. Not really officially. But I might go shopping and get some of your assigned pooling yarn. It is just such an interesting yarn to work with. I really, really love this and the assigned pooling. So you're not really gonna, you might be able to find this with the mainstream yarns. I would just Google assigned pooling yarn and see what you can find. It's not, it's a little bit more specialty, so it's not going to be your, you know, it might be in your craft stores, maybe, but it's usually going to be more with your independent dyers, people that are kind of more artistic, which means it's going to cost a little bit. You know, I mean, these skeins were, I think, $28 a piece, US dollars, so this is an expensive piece. So make sure that when you're doing it, that you love it and find a pattern that is really special, you know, that you're really going to want to showcase the yarn. That would be my suggestion when you're using assigned pooling yarn, is make sure that you're really showcasing what it is that you're doing, because the yarn isn't going to be cheap, most likely. But it is so unique that I think it would be something, you know, worth it. And you know me, I'm always about like, take care of you, hashtag self-care. So find something that really speaks to you and treat yourself, and then make yourself something with assigned pooling. This is my invitation, not my challenge, because we don't do challenges here. It's my invitation to you. One more thing to show you. As I pass over a bobble stitch, you just want to be careful, and I probably was guilty of this in the beginning, that you don't go into the back of every single stitch, because you'll end up adding stitches without really meaning to. So for instance, like there's going to be probably 3 stitches in the back of a bobble. You only want to do 2 of them. The one of them, if you do that, you're going to end up, I'll show you my little bit. See here at the bottom, it is a little bit, I don't know if you can really see it. It looks a little ripply right in here. This is because I started adding too many stitches. So I just decreased it out, and that was fine. And I think it'll be fine when I block it. By the time I realized what I had done, I was like way too far in. But you just want to make sure that you're only going into like the first and the last, and then you don't go into that last yarn over, or that yarn stitch, because you will end up adding in, and it'll get kind of wonky and it'll start to kind of bow out. All right, last one here before I finish. We're going to go grab some breakfast, take a bike ride, and find some more Quokkas. So Quokkas, I showed you my little bit here. They are endangered in the mainland of Australia, because, you know, they have natural predators and things like that. But here on the island of Rottnest, they are not endangered, because there are no natural predators here. No cats, no dogs, things like that. So here I'm yarning over, pulling all the way through, yarning over, and pulling through, just like that. So here on the island of Rottnest, there are somewhere between 10 to 12,000 Quokkas. They're definitely not endangered here. They're very, very friendly, because they are used to being around humans. But that doesn't mean that, if, you know, don't try to pick them up. Don't try to provoke them, because they will bite, because they're wild animals. And I didn't. I tried to keep a safe distance, but they are very friendly. They're very used to humans. So my distance and their distance were not the same. And I've had them, as a matter of fact, you'll see here, some of them are like coming up on the camera. They're very, very curious. So adorable. So if you don't know, this was one of the bucket lists on this particular trip, was I couldn't wait to come and commune with the Quokkas. So I have essentially, I haven't closed up my bucket list. I haven't filled it, but this was definitely one of my bucket lists, not only for this trip, but just sort of in my life for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So Kimberly's very happy right now. All right, I'm gonna go grab some breakfast. I'm gonna let you guys go, showing you the progress that I've made on my Starry Night. Gosh, I love this so much. Look at how those colors are just coming through with the variegation. So beautiful. Cannot wait for this to be finished. All right,